the business side of writing, the comic side of corporations, and the competitive market for organic foods, all on the Business Exchange. Welcome to the Business Exchange. Richie Gerber of Bread of Life Whole Foods Market is here to talk about trends in the trendy organic and whole foods industry. Welcome. Thank you for bringing this. We like people who bring us things to eat.
I thought you might be hungry, so.
Well, I actually am, and I can tell you, both on the air and off the air, we're devouring much of what you've brought. You have seen the end of it. How did you ever get into this line of thing, and how long has it been?
It's been since birth, 51 and a half years ago.
Since birth, you were into good food?
Absolutely. My father owned grocery stores in Brooklyn, New York. You've ever heard of Brooklyn, New York?
I've heard of it, but I didn't know there was good food in Brooklyn.
In my father's store, there was. It was a grocery store in Delhi. And so
delicatessens have good food? I thought it was all full of...
It was a kosher deli. We had the best food. Now, it's funny, my brother's now still in the food business as a caterer and party maker. And
so you were always in food. But how did you spot, because how long have you actually been in a store that actually said kind of health foods, organic foods, that kind of stuff?
Well, in 1971, I started an organic farm up in Maine. And so I got into the growing part of organics in the early 70s.
So you were a business hippie?
A pioneer. If you want to call me a hippie, yeah, I was one of those hippies.
Well, that's what people did then. All right, so you went off
Absolutely.
and you started, okay. And so from there, but it's an interesting thing that sometimes people who have a kind of, not a dropout, but a contrarian approach wind up being the best business people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
okay.
right.
Yeah, okay. Now, so give me a history of Bread of Life.
Bread of
company.
Life. So my wife says, you know, Richie, it's always cold up here in Maine. And I said, I knew it was always something, but cold was the word.
Well, you're lucky you married her so she could tell you what the weather was.
Smart lady. So we came to Florida in 1980, bought a little struggling, failing health food store in Wilton Manors in Broward County. And from there, the rest is health food history. It was a stellar rise for 18 years.
There you go. We actually sent a crew out to take some photographs, some visuals. We're going to see that, and maybe you can take us on a tour while that film runs. What are we looking at?
You're looking at our produce section. Today we have 175 organic items besides conventional items right there in front of you. You see, what we value is freshness, products that are bursting with flavor. That's what it's really all about, the quality of the food. We just don't sell apples. We sell the best apples you can find. Take a look at the shine on that. We didn't polish them.
Are they more expensive when they're organic?
At times they are, depending on the season and where they come from.
What are we looking at there?
Our bulk foods. This is specialty items where we have our cheeses from around the world and our wines, famous wines from around the world.
So when you say cheeses, all this stuff isn't low-calorie, ultra-health, in other words?
No, these are not everything. We have gourmet items where we're the best food store in Florida.
I see.
That's what we claim to be.
Who's the best food store in Florida, Richie?
The Bread of Life Whole Foods Markets.
I'm glad we got that in.
That's what we strive to be.
Very good.
The best in our area.
Now, how many of you are there in the area now?
In Florida, there are 5 stores, one in Winter Park, one in Plantation, Coral Springs, Fort Lauderdale,
There's the logo.
Hey, there I am.
And now, but what happened is Bread of Life became what, part of Whole Foods?
Yeah, we were merged 2 years ago. Bread of Life was merged with Whole Foods, which is a publicly traded corporation on NASDAQ.
You sold out for a bundle?
No, for stock.
Oh, for stock.
Right,
but it can
no
be
bundles.
a bundle. It can be a bundle of stock. I was using the grocery store image, you see. How does it feel to be, because actually the interesting thing is that here you have whole foods, you have natural foods, and yet sometimes people don't think that that's also an industry, also a business. Maybe it's because they don't associate kind of a national brand with it. Is that what's happening? Is that where the movement is? What direction?
Well, Whole Foods is, first of all, I didn't sell out, I was merged. Selling out a product of the 60s, we don't sell out.
I understand.
We merged, and it was just a good fit. Whole Foods has been voted for 2 years in a row by Fortune magazine, on the Fortune magazine 100 best companies to work for in the United States. Whole Foods has been voted 2 times on that list in the last 2 years. Great corporate culture.
What are we
and
looking
great
at here?
foods.
Because we got all
You're
this
looking,
stuff.
You're looking at great stuff. This is the
We're gonna eat
prize
this.
centerpiece. I'll
We're
leave
eating
this
this.
for you. So we know this is baked in our very own commercial bakery, and you see it's fresh fruits, and it's smothered onto our wonderful, wonderful cookie dough, and it's our fruit tart.
What's the dark stuff in there?
This is our fresh olive loaf. I mean, and
Is it
look,
fresh?
Is
so
it fresh? Look
that
at
it's
that.
all over our table now.
Look at this.
Look at that.
Look at that freshness. Those are
Is that fresh?
Kalamata olives. Take that crust.
That is fresh.
These are made
It
right.
smells like olives. It
This
does.
is made daily in our own ovens, this is a European hearth baked bread. Quality, the best you can get in Florida.
This you can actually take back. You can't have this. No, I'm just joking.
That's okay.
And you have. I want to be sure people get the 100% recycled paper.
Friendly, the trees.
Friendly tree. The trees
friendly
preferred.
to trees.
The
Yes.
paper preferred by trees.
Yes, this is our 365 brand, which is our everyday value. 365 days a year, you're going to get a quality product, environmentally friendly,
Do you
and
believe
it does the job.
Do you believe in these products?
Come to my house and you'll see that it's ridiculous what I have at my house.
Really?
Everything from cleansers to the toilet paper, to the food we eat, to the products we use to clean our house, to the pure cotton clothes that we wear. Then we also have the Whole Foods label, which is more on the organic premium side of the scale, more upper end, both quality.
Has this stuff gone more and more mainstream?
Absolutely.
Is that harder for you in business then? Is it harder to remain a kind of a specialty niche market, even though you're big and growing, in the midst of what may be now competition from the bigger chains to pull some of those people in?
That's a great question, and the answer to that question is when you have a mission and you know you're right and you don't lose sight of that goal, you never wander. And our mission is to provide the best food, to provide healthy foods, environmentally safe products, and we know we're right. And
But your clients have to be, your patrons have to be, what, better educated, richer, more aware than most people?
they don't have to be. We don't take a survey
tend
on
to
the
be.
way in.
But they tend to be.
They tend to be.
On the way out, they better be.
Well,
But I have to tell you, because if you go through this stuff, it gets a little infectious, because after a while you say, well, I want to be sure I have 100% this. I don't want just 97% this. I want it to be, you can get caught into that kind of syndrome.
You can make it sound like a trap. I make it sound like freedom of choice, and freedom we're stewards of the planet. We want to make sure it's still here for our kids and
Well,
grandkids.
it's a, shall I say, a trap that we freely go into. And I want to thank you for coming here and freely sharing all of these goodies with us. We're going to be eating this, folks, so they will have to, they won't see us, but we'll be enjoying it. Thank you, Richie Gerber, for being here.